zog me. I feel like I got hit by a truck. Wow! Welcome back to the Red Ones Go Fast, old Big Mek here. That's right, it is still Orktober. It's another day and it's time for another video. And this one is going to be good. So, let's get into it. Okay, so let's set the stage for you. There's this crazy guy on YouTube called Old Big Mek, and he has a Warhammer channel. And his Warhammer channel covers everything Warhammer 40k, and he even delves into other things like Necromunda sometimes, and maybe even a little Old World or Age of Sigmar. He has a very healthy appreciation for all things Orky, and as such, every Orktober, he has dedicated the channel to all things Greenskin and spent 31 days doing 31 videos. This crazy loon not only did it once, he did it twice, and then he came back for another go in 2025, only to get hit by a truck. Okay, not literally, I didn't actually get hit by a truck. I fell running with one of my grots, and well, as you see by the very cool colored bruises going on there and the arm thingy, I broke my arm. Busted the radius into 3 pieces, got a titanium plate in there now, cyborg. But yeah, it has brought all of these goals grinding to a halt. I think I've missed 1 or 2 days so far since this happened, but I had really awesome support from all of my viewers, a lot of whom actually submitted their own videos, and I was able to make 2 whole compilation videos of other people's armies and WAs and even kit bashing tips and tricks, and they were awesome, and it was just so cool to see that kind of support. All that being said, I haven't quit either. I'm still trying to make videos. We've made a couple of good ones, and I have attempted to even paint with just one hand, which actually turns out to be a lot harder than you think. You should check that video out. But today, we have reached a new level. I've actually been able to get something painted when it finally hit me in the noggin. And what was that hit, you ask? Well, like I said in the intro, I got hit by a truck. Okay, this is a battle wagon, but I finally figured out my big problem with trying to paint one-handed is I kept trying to paint an actual miniature. Something like our little friend, the Saturnine Meganob here, who was an amazing kit bash from before I broke my arm. Now, he is a little too small for me to actually paint, because what happens is anything that holds him in a way that I can actually get the brush in all the different places is a little too shaky once you start painting, because I can't actually grip anything with this hand with any kind of force whatsoever. Again, lead you to the bruising. But I attempted so many different things, including, suggestions from viewers, like taping him to a desk lamp and using an actual garrote to hold him. Again, you should watch the video. But ever since then, I've been racking my brain on what I can do to continue hobbying, because I can't just put out 31 videos of me talking to you, because that's a lot of filler, and the whole month is supposed to be all killer, no filler. If I'm talking to you, it should be something really good and important. So I've tried building, I've tried converting, I've tried all sorts of things, and then that's when the battle wagon ran me over. You see, this guy's been sitting on my desk for a while because it was made of multiple parts, it was used, and I had done a lot of restoration work to it in Orktober in order to get it ready to go for painting. Now, I didn't have everything done yet, but I had the main hull. And then I realized I can paint it. That's right, the big grand reveal. This sucker is so big and so heavy, I don't need it held. I don't need to hold it in my fingers, exert any force, cause myself any further pain. I could just literally set this sucker down on the desk and paint. And paint it I have done. Look at that glorious, glorious red paint job, because we all know the red ones go faster, and some metal work going on there as well. So what I am doing is I am refocusing my painting for the rest of the month, or at least until this is taken care of enough to where I can grip things again, to all of my big things. So on top of the battle wagon, which we'll talk about some more, I've got a bunch of orc terrain that I need to work on. Now, this terrain was always intended to be part of Orktober. You see, I think last Orktober it was, I took the second half of my Octarius terrain and kit bashed it to make the pieces different than the main ones, so that when all of my scrap piles were out among the board, it didn't repeat. And I love painting orc terrain. It is just so flavorful and fun and cool, and you could put all these other little random details in it, and all the different weathering effects, the buildup of the rust on there, the iron oxide going on the steel, the broken lights, you know, casting the light on there, and of course the callbacks to the orange in my actual army. I do really enjoy painting it. So all of these terrain pieces, they are so big, I can set them down on the desk and just paint them, and they won't move around, and I won't have the same issues that I've had trying to paint actual figures. And since I have a whole set of the terrain there ready to go, ready to paint, I can absolutely do that. Because even if I can't get the little walls and barricades to work, I do still have, you know, the Arcturus terrain is 4 big corners of a building. I still have 2 of those to paint. And let's face it, this sucker's not going anywhere on my painting desk. It is so big and so sturdy and so heavy that, yeah, I could just set it down whichever direction I need, paint that particular face of it, and then the next day I can just turn it to the next face. So yeah, so I got 2 of these to paint, so I will be starting to work on those again, plus the little barricades and stuff. We'll see how they do. But if I manage to get those done and I'm still not able to grip with this thing, I do actually have a set of Imperial or Mechanicus terrain that I've been working on actually for quite a while. I did a bunch of spray painting on these, and then even played with some light airbrushing with a really ridiculously old, terrible airbrush. Which is great because these are going to be all grimy and greasy gopher guts. But yeah, I've got a couple of these over there as well, along with you know, the big vents and smokestacks and all that stuff. And again, even if I can't paint the little parts of it, these big ones right here, when I set them down on the table, they won't move, and that means I can get painting done on them. So expect some painting videos for the rest of Orktober as I do get back into the swing of things. Because again, think Gork and Mork, my good arm is still good. I broke the non-dominant hand, but again, for mini painting, surprisingly difficult.
Hey, you! Yeah, you there, watching the video. You want to have the same drip old Big Mek wears? You need to check out our merch store at theredonesgofaster.com, where you can get our cool new Red Squig watch beanie. Or Red Squig the baseball cap. Not to mention the Red Squig shirt. We also have our original water bottle in metal. And of course the dirty paint water mug too. But even more fun is the Go Faster design from BenBam, available in black, fun colors, and even the full color hoodie style. Get yours all today at theredonesgofaster.com. All right, back to the video.
Okay, I apologize for using the same ad spot, but as you can tell, I have not been able to really film a new one, but we do have a ton of new merch, so our ad spotting is a little bit longer. Just so you know, we have Orktober merch specifically for 2025 out right now at the merch store at theredonesgofaster.com. You can get yourself embroidered hats and really cool t-shirts in a bunch of different colors. We will be selling the Orktober shirts through the end of 2025, and then we will pull them from the merch store. So if you want something with this particular Orktober logo on it, make sure you get that order in before the end of the year, because we're going to do a whole new one for next year. Start yourself a little collection. We also have our Mordaka design. Now this is brand new. This is from our artist BenBam. And just so you guys know, none of our stuff is AI sloppy. When you are buying from The Red Ones Go Faster, you are supporting real artists. Old Big Mek himself drew every single pixel of all of the Red Squig stuff. BenBam did our Goes Fasta, Orktober, and Mordaka designs. And Velgarn did the Old Big Mek design. So it's real people making real art. And the Mordaka design, this will be staying forever. It comes in 2 versions. There's this 2D version, which is brighter and bolder. And then there's this 3D version, which has more detail in it and is kind of more of a grimdark aesthetic. We couldn't decide which one we liked better, so we decided to make both. That way the choice was yours. Now again, these will be available on the web store kind of in perpetuity, I guess. And those are available in t-shirts and hoodies, and things like that. I think we even have a hat that comes in camo that at least one person has ordered, which is really cool. I do also want to say our merch store, all of our stuff is made to order. There is no stock of it. When you order, they make it right then and there exactly what color and size you want. And that's how we're able to offer so many different cool colors and sizes for all of our stuff. We have t-shirts up to 4XL. So if you're a really big guy, even bigger than me, you can still get your stuff. We also have ladies cuts and of course grot sizes, because you know this is a family channel and the grots deserve some cool things too. Also, we ship all over the world because the stuff is made close to where you live. So if you order in North America, US, Canada, Mexico, they make it here in North America. If you order in the EU or the UK, they make it there. You will get stuff. We've shipped to Germany, the Netherlands, the UK, France, Croatia, Sweden, Norway, like you name it, we've shipped it over there. And now there's even production in Australia, which ships to Australia and New Zealand. So it doesn't matter where you are in the world, check out our merch store at theredonesgofaster.com. You will be surprised. We've shipped to over 20 countries so far. In fact, we are getting our hands on a world map so that we can show you every country so far that has gotten some merch from The Red Ones Go Faster, which is really, really exciting. It would help me out a ton and help the channel grow. Not to mention, for less than the price of any Games Workshop kit, you can get yourself some really sweet merch. In fact, one of our most popular new things is the sticker package. These stickers right here are brand new vinyl stickers, nice high quality, outdoor rated. You could put these on your actual speed wagon or truck, water bottles, whatever the case may be. They retail for $9.99 in the US. I know the prices are adjusted for different regions, but it's gonna be somewhere around there, which is really, really good because you get all 5 stickers for that. And yeah, you can go slap some on your carrying case or wherever else Gork or Mork tell you to. All right, that's enough plugging. I promise you I will have a new ad spot filmed as soon as I can get shirts over my arm enough to actually go through the whole thing in one take. So look forward to that. But let's get back to this battle wagon because this is the absolute star of this video. Again, for those of you that didn't see back at the beginning of Orktober when I laid out my projects for the month, this battle wagon I picked up used, and it was kind of a disgrace because I have this really huge, amazing orc army. I've got 4 trucks built and painted that are still together currently for the army, and then a bunch more trucks that I've taken apart that we're using to convert some other kits into trucks. But yeah, I've got all the stuff, every buggy, and I didn't have a battle wagon. I don't have something for the Meganovs to ride around in. I don't have something for Gaz to ride around in. So, but I did own it. I got it used back before COVID, I believe. So, I mean, this thing's been sitting around a long, long time. But what was giving me the problems is I have all of the pieces for it to use in any of the different configurations. The main issue with that is this top piece for the ARD case. You see, once you get kind of the ARD cases going and stuff, people tend to just glue these on and then, you know, deal with the turrets and all that stuff. But I wanted the ability to always be able to run it open top or run it with or without the kill cannons and stuff like that. So I had to do a lot of work to the pieces to make sure that they could go on and off. They're all push fit. There's no magnets or anything like that. So I had done all of that work. I don't have every little turret and greebly and guy done or primed or anything yet. But again, that doesn't matter. I can't really paint them anyway. I can't really grip with this. I pretty much just kind of hold things flat. But because this piece itself is so big, I could start working on it. So what I did is I started working on the top, and then I laid it on its side, and I started working on its side. So it's a little awkward because I am painting a vertical surface horizontally. And, you know, again, it kind of sits on the bench like this. I paint it from the top, and it doesn't really move around because it is so big and solid. So hey, at least I'm getting some stuff done. But of course, I decided to go with a red paint job, and a very, very red one indeed, because this is the centerpiece of the Speed Freaks portion of my army. I know a battle wagon is not actually a Speed Freak in and of itself, but remember that the Red Ones Go Faster was literally a army rule for orcs for multiple editions spanning over a decade. Literally, if you painted your model red, and it had to be red, you couldn't put a red stripe on it, it had to be a red model. If you painted it red, you could add an extra inch to your movement. which was just one of my favorite rules of all time in Warhammer 40k. And I don't care that the rule is gone, I am still painting my vehicles red to this day. So, being that this is going to be Gaz's personal transport, it's going to be the reddest of all. So, that is what we are working with on a base for it. The next thing I need to do is figure out what kind of big, bold paint statement I want to make with this. Let me tell you what I'm talking about. This, again, can't hold things, is my Bernabama. Now, the Bernabama is another very large centerpiece style unit that when you put it on the tabletop or on your display bench, draws a lot of eyes. And so you want to put something really cool on it that is big to get people's big attention on it. Big models like this, when you only focus on the little details, they tend to get lost. People step back, they look at the whole army, they stay stepped back for this, and they kind of like miss the forest for the trees, so to say. So on the Bernabama, I painted by hand all of these crazy flames on it, and I love it. This is my absolute favorite thing I have ever painted. It's not my best thing. It's not my favorite model. It's not, but it just like overall, as a project, this is my favorite result. This thing looks so stinking cool from a million miles away, and even when you get up close and you realize just how many little flames are on this thing, all done by hand and very, very, very orky. It just fits the army so well. So I want to do something like that for the battle wagon. Now I could replicate it. I could do flames all across the battle wagon, but it's not very aerodynamic, it's not very flamey, and I'm not sure how well that's going to work because, again, you've got these pieces that come on and off, and one of them changes directions when you put it on, and that's the turret plate. It's this piece right here. So this is the piece that actually holds the main turret for the battle wagon. So the turret holds whatever your main weapon is. If you're taking, you know, the big cannon or the extra big cannon or the zap gun or whatever the choices are these days. But you could put this in two places. Now, obviously, if you run an ARD case, you're going to place it on top like this, okay? And so it's orientated in this direction. Notice this little cutout divot here and this little angle piece here, right? So those are both pointed toward the front. And that's how it works with the ARD case. Now, the problem becomes if you don't run the ARD case, but you still run the weapon, which is an option for you, you still use this piece. Again, bear with me as I try to hold this thing. Only instead of being this orientation, you actually turn it 90 degrees to this orientation. So you see why I can't put flames on this, because if I put flames on it and they go this direction for when it's on the hard case, when I turn it this way to be on here, now the flames are going to go sideways. That also means I can't really put flames at the top, because if I put flames at the top and then I run the turret piece here, it's going to block the flames. It's going to look weird. So this is where you come in. Let me know down in the comments below what kind of big, cool thing I could put on this to really draw attention to it, like the flames, but not actually being the flames. So let me know your thoughts on what I can do for the battle wagon, specifically because I do have to deal with these problems with the ARD case and the turret spot thingy there. And again, you can run the turret and the ARD case together and run the turret up front too. You don't have to put it on the back here. So just something to keep in mind, that you've got multiple options on how you run this thing. And so that's going to change what everything's going to look like. Now, obviously, I'm going to base coat all this stuff red as I can get to it. I can definitely do the other side of the battle wagon. I don't know if I'm necessarily going to do in the truck bed yet or not. I'm considering doing the vertical panels in it, but not the horizontal, not the actual truck bed, and just kind of really scratching up the truck bed, making it look really well used. Let me know your thoughts on that too. But we'll have it all red. It'll look like this side. And what do you think we can do, something big and bold, to really make it stand out and look cool? Now, I do have two options from my grot tanks that I am considering. Let me know if you think either of these are cool or if they're just lightning. One is the checker pattern. So I I painted one of my little Timu tanks, grot tanks, in this really cool red and orange checker pattern. Again, those who've been watching the channel a long time know my personal orcs, orange is their color, so they have orange details on everything. That's kind of like the Big Mek's brand for his stuff. So the cooler stuff you got, the more orange you got. And then obviously the vehicle's red. So red and orange are my colors, but that's what it would look like to do a checker pattern. Something like that might look cool on it, or even like World War I Dazzle style camouflage. I've considered could be kind of really rad. If you don't know what that is, it looks a lot like this cool black and white stuff behind the crazy Go Fasta guy there. But yeah, it's called Dazzle camouflage. Look it up. The other option is, of course, going with a face or something like that. Some big old teeth. Obviously, you can do that with the big prow. This piece right here, you can, really dial in that face. The problem is when you're not running that and you're running the def roller, how do you still make it work? So I'm a little leery on that. Those are kind of some of my ideas. All right, that's going to do it for this one. I was super excited that I was finally able to actually paint something and figure out more things I could paint for the rest of Orktober. So again, look forward to that. I'm excited to have that shift and to still be able to be productive and get some things done and be able to share them with you this Orktober, which means you can tune in tomorrow for another video here on The Red Ones Go Faster. And until then, wagon!